Ryan was 7 when he first heard the soft, urgent whisper that always seemed to come from just behind him. The late summer sun streaked the sky orange as he stood at the base of a towering oak tree in his backyard. His skinny legs trembled, unsure whether to climb. A small boy appeared at his side, Jack, also 7, with a playful grin that put Ryan at ease. "Come on, Rye," Jack whispered. "The view up there is going to be epic." Ryan's mother called from the porch. "Ryan, dinner." He glanced at Jack, reluctant to leave. "5 more minutes?" Jack clapped him on the back. "Tell her we're pirates. The tree's our ship." Emboldened, Ryan shouted, "We're pirates, Mom." His mother only sighed, repeating his name impatiently. Ryan exchanged a look with Jack, two friends determined to squeeze adventure from every free moment, before climbing down from the first few branches and heading inside. Over time, Jack became an ever-present part of Ryan's life. In high school, Ryan was a shy 16-year-old, slouched against a locker with sweaty palms while he stole glances at Emily, a quiet girl who shared his fascination with marine life. Jack, the same age, leaned casually beside him. "Just say hi," Jack murmured, elbows resting on the metal door. "She's been eyeing your Jaws shirt for days." Ryan gathered his courage, approached Emily and stammered, "Uh, you like sharks?" Her face brightened. "Hammerheads," she replied, smiling. Jack nudged Ryan with a smirk, as though coaxing him to continue. Ryan blurted, "Want to get pizza sometime?" Emily nodded shyly, and the two exchanged a fleeting electrified glance. Out of the corner of his eye, Ryan saw Jack give him a proud thumbs up before slipping into the swirl of students passing through the hallway. Years later, Ryan stood in his cramped studio apartment, tie half knotted and palms damp. His resume lay scattered on the coffee table beside a cold mug of coffee. Jack, now in his 30s too, leaned against the wall, arms crossed, studying him with a grin. "You're overthinking it," Jack said, pushing off the wall to mimic a stiff handshake. "Problem solver, remember? That's your line. Own it." Ryan fumbled with his tie. "What if they ask about the gap after college?" Jack waved a dismissive hand. "You took time to refine your skills, spin it into a strength, confidence, Rye." He stepped closer, voice lowering. "You've got this. They'll see what I see." Ryan inhaled sharply, repeating Jack's words under his breath. Problem solver, confidence. He glanced at the clock. 20 minutes until the interview. Jack snatched a pen from the table and pointed it at him like a sword. "And if they ask about the data project, keep it simple. Streamlined, efficient, collaborative." Boom. Ryan chuckled nervously. "Since when are you a career coach?" "Since always." Jack smirked. "Now go. Your ship awaits, Captain." The office building loomed outside, all glass and steel. As Ryan stepped onto the sidewalk, he glanced back. Jack stood in the apartment window, giving a salute. By 45, Ryan's temples bore streaks of gray. He hunched at a corner table in a dim bar, nursing a whiskey. Jack sat across from him, face as vibrant as the first day they met, despite their age supposedly being the same. When a waitress approached, Ryan lifted his glass. "2 more, please." She paused. "Just one?" Ryan jabbed a thumb toward Jack. "2," he repeated, sharper than he'd intended. The waitress hesitated, then set down 2 fresh glasses. Her steps quickened as she walked away. Jack chuckled, swirling his whiskey. "She thinks you're either tragic or dangerous." Ryan glared at him. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Relax, Captain." Jack tipped his glass toward Ryan's. "To the epic view." Ryan clinked his drink against Jack's, but his eyes lingered on the untouched second glass. A cold prickle crept up his neck. "Why doesn't the ice melt?" he thought, staring at the untouched whiskey. Jack leaned forward, blocking his view. "You're spiraling." "Am I?" Ryan muttered. For a heartbeat, Jack's grin faltered. Then he shrugged. Par for the course. Pirates don't fret over landlubbers. Much later that same night, Ryan found himself alone in the low-lit warmth of his cluttered apartment. A sudden urge drew him toward an old box of photographs. The cardboard sides were worn, dust plumed when he pulled out the first stack of glossy prints. He flipped through them. A 7-year-old Ryan by the old oak tree, Ryan in high school hallways, group shots at prom, a modest graduation party. Snatches of memory flickered behind his eyes, Jack urging him onward, Jack making wisecracks, Jack cheering him on. But in every picture, Ryan saw only his younger self and the people around him. His mother on the porch, Emily by the lockers, various classmates at the dance. No sign of Jack. Not even in the background. Ryan felt a chill skate along his spine, realization nipping at the edges of his thoughts. His breath caught, and he spoke into the silent apartment, voice trembling. Jack, why aren't you in any of these? From behind him, he sensed Jack's presence, just as he always had. Only now, a strange hush fell, as though the words had drawn a sharp boundary in the room. At last, a soft reply came. You never needed me to be in them. Ryan's throat tightened. A wave of disbelief and recognition swelled within him. All at once, every strange moment, mother's indifference, the waitress's hesitation, the puzzled stares, flooded his mind. But I did need you, he said, tears threatening to spill. Jack's figure hovered just at the edge of Ryan's vision, as though wavering between solidity and ghostlight. You still do? Ryan could hardly speak, but he managed a nod. Stay, he whispered. Jack reached out, the comforting weight of his hand somehow real on Ryan's shoulder. Always, he murmured. A few hours later, dawn stretched pale fingers of light across the park near Ryan's old home. He sat on a weathered bench, inhaling the crisp air. The oak tree, gnarled trunk, branches twisting into the sky, loomed in the distance, though smaller than he remembered. Jack was seated beside him, faintly present in the early glow. A wave of memory stirred, and Ryan's heart clenched with wistful gratitude. He could still hear the boyish excitement in Jack's voice from all those years ago. We're pirates! And he let the echo fill him with warmth instead of dread. Remember the tree? Jack asked. Ryan gave a fragile smile. Our ship. And in that moment, between heartbeats and memories, Ryan felt both alone and accompanied. Looking out over the dew-strewn grass, he raised the coffee cup he held, unsure if it was a toast to Jack or to himself. The hint of a breeze rustled the leaves, and he could almost swear he heard Jack whisper, always. When a jogger passed, they offered Ryan a slight nod of morning courtesy and sent a curious glance at the seemingly empty space beside him. But Ryan only gazed at the tree, recalling how a child once climbed it in search of adventure. In that hush of daybreak, he understood that Jack's presence, whether real or imagined, had guided him through fear and doubt. And as the sun edged over the horizon, illuminating the bench, Ryan let himself finally accept both the truth and the comfort of his unseen companion.
Like, subscribe, and follow for more stories.